And when the president says you come, we came.
Absolutely, Chairman.
So, and it took a little longer. With that, LSO, do we have streaming?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We have Boyd Brown in the waiting room online.
Okay. Committee will come to order. We've got House Bill 57, which is the only House bill in our possession.
Let's not kill it, Mr. Chairman.
Would we do a thing like that? Let me explain to you the difference between the House and the Senate on that. In the House, when you're going to kill something, you do it, you stick the knife in somebody's bill or somebody. You do it with great weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth, and pomp and ceremony. And then you do it. In the Senate, the knife goes clear through you before you know it's in the room.
Question on the bill.
The effect of the process is, the net effect is about the same, but the process is a little different. Okay, with all of that, Senate File 57, advance enrollment. Representative Brown, you're on.
Do you want a roll call?
No.
Okay.
They can see we're all here.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, it's kind of interesting to be here and see Senator Beitman and Senator Salazar now. Man, that's different. That's different. But thank you for having my bill this morning. What I have before you is, frankly, it's a very simple bill, and it's what is already in practice with most of our school districts across the state. However, we have had a few instances where we have some slight mischaracterization of what military families face. And so this is just clarifying the language. This was brought to me by the Department of Defense and just saying, we'd like to make sure that any military member who is getting ready to be stationed in Wyoming has the ability to advance enroll their child into their school. It's in an effort to make sure that their child is capable of being enrolled and not missing any school when they move out. And what we did with the engrossed version compared to the original version is we took out the term military installation from the original version. And what that was from is a little bit of concern from the Department of Defense on the fact that not every single person will actually be stationed at a installation. We have a lot of recruiters that get stationed throughout the state as well. And so, you know, if they're sitting at a mall, we don't quite consider them a military installation. So we removed that term and we inserted the term if they're being stationed within the state of Wyoming. So, Mr. Chairman, that is in essence what this bill does. I would be more than happy to walk you through the bill if you need me to. Other than that, I can also answer any questions. It's your prerogative.
Why don't you just, it's not a very long bill, why don't you just take us through it quickly?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman, if you go to page 1, we start with 214302.1, which is an interesting point. This says, for purposes of registration with the school district, a pupil shall be considered a resident of the state. What that starts with, or the reason we added that language is, again, just because if we do not have them considered as a resident, they cannot enroll in the state of Wyoming. And it basically says that they can, or their parent is pending transfer to the state of Wyoming while on active military duty pursuant to an official military order. Those are the key words that make everything, strictly towards the military side of things. This doesn't allow anybody else to take advantage of advanced enrollment. They have to be on military orders. For pupils qualifying underneath this subsection, school district shall accept enrollment requests electronically if they allow that. I believe Laramie County 1, which is of course where this would mainly be affecting, does now accept electronic enrollment. And then underneath subsection C, qualifying underneath subsection A of this section, shall provide proof of residence to the pupil's school district within 10 days. And this was kind of the status quo, what we've seen across other states. And this is just a, hey, look, we recognize we're letting you in early, but we also need to make sure that you're attending the right school if the school district has bounds or anything along those lines. So we have a 10-day residency. Upon residency, we want them to make sure that they have that proof of residency. And then as we use in this D, it talks about the active military duty. And again, we did repeal out the other section in the engrossed version that had a definition for military installation. We got rid of that as there's no need for that the way that we have the bill drafted now.
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Ruffles.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative Brown, one question that came to mind, and I don't know that it's going to be relevant, but we do occasionally have students that are enrolled in Wyoming school districts but live in a neighboring state. That happens, this would preclude that if it were a circumstance where, for example, they were going to enroll in a Wyoming school, they lived in a neighboring state, and their orders were relevant to the neighboring state. I don't know if we have any circumstance where that would even be plausible, where we've got a military facility or a potential circumstance where a military order would apply that somebody would be in that situation. Was that thought through? Is that anything we should be concerned about?
Mr. Chairman, Senator Rothfuss, that truthfully was not contemplated, again, for the speculated reasons that it's very unlikely that we would have anybody with military orders get stationed in another state where they would try to take advantage of our education system in a situation with the military orders. That never came up in all the discussions that we had, but I'm sure that there's been crazier things that have happened.
And I can't think of any circumstances where that might be the case, but I wanted to throw it out there and see if anyone else could think of a circumstance where that might happen.
What I know of that is that the places I know of that are doing it are particularly up along the Montana border in Park County. The topography is such that certain people who live in Montana, the common sense thing for them to do is to attend a Wyoming school, and the arrangements have been made, and it's reflected in the statutes.
Yeah.
But practical arrangements have been made to accommodate the people. I don't think that's going to interplay with this at all. And I think we can count on, if we get an odd case, I think we can count on a little common sense at the local level to deal with it.
Mr. Chairman? Yeah, I think that's a really good question. And I think that scenario would be far more prevalent on the East Coast or on the West Coast, where we have multiple installations. And but I don't see that here. But Representative Brown, I like this bill. Appreciate you bringing it. Thanks.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, Representative Brown, great bill. Does the effective date need to be in July, or could it be effective immediately? It seems pretty straightforward. Does July push it out too far where the school districts may have some issues right before the school season starts in August? Could we make it effective immediately? Is that a problem, or?
Mr. Chairman, Senator Beitman, that's the committee's prerogative. I don't foresee any issues, but I also don't have any issues with making this effective immediately, because it could affect a student right, tomorrow. Once this bill becomes effective, it could have that impact. So by all means, it is pretty easy to implement. And as you'll probably hear from our superintendent, again, the district that this impacts the most, this is already in general practice what's occurring. So it shouldn't require anything outlandish to implement.
Mr. Chairman, we just lost audio via the Zoom. Are the mics on?
No mics were on, Rihanna.
Okay.
Okay. LSO, can you admit anybody that's in the waiting room?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have Superintendent Boyd Brown.
Mr. Brown? Okay. Boyd, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay,
Good
proceed.
morning, Mr. Chairman, Boyd Brown, Superintendent Laramie One. Just wanted to speak a little bit to Senator Rothfuss' question. I do believe that students who are deployed overseas have the opportunity, if they're from Wyoming, to continue working with a online school district or school program in Wyoming. But that's the only situation that I can think of that may be an issue. Just wanted to tell you that Superintendent Brown is very supportive of Representative Brown's bill that he sent forward. And so support everything that he's talking about and believe that we're trying to do the best that we can to do this with our students that are coming in deployed into Wyoming at this point. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Okay, any questions? See? Yes, Senator Ellis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Nothing particular about this bill. I just know the district has had a lot of challenges this week with getting kids back to school. So just if you wouldn't mind just giving us a quick update on how snow removal is going and what you're thinking of next week.
Senator Ellis, appreciate that. Snow removal at the schools has gone well. We still have one lane traffic through a lot of the residential areas in Wyoming or in Cheyenne. So it's been difficult. Snow removal on sidewalks has been hit and miss. So I felt like it was probably important for the safety of our students, parents, and our staff members to have one more day where we could get snow removal on Friday, and then the weekend. I know that the city and the county are working as hard as they can to get things done, but really did not think we wanted everybody out there clogging up roadways and everything in one way or single lane traffic through residential areas. So hopefully by Monday, we'll be in good shape and ready to go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Boyd.
Okay, thank you for that. That emphasizes, I think, the fact that this is a young and vigorous committee with, I think all the rest of you have school-age kids. I'm the only old geezer. Okay, anything else? Anything else? Do I hear a motion on the bill?
Move the bill.
Bill is moved. Amendments. Committee, we have one little problem. Page 2, line 9 does not conform with the drafting standards. Page 2, line 8, rather.
Do we have a such?
Yes.
Desuchification.
If we were, I'm going to move that we remove the words such and insert the word the.
Question. Question.
Okay, we've been getting sloppy about this and we need to keep up with the standards. Okay,
Question.
question being called. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, that carried. Well, did you get that?
I didn't. I know that we were going to remove the words such and on line 8 at the end of the line on page 2, but what word are we inserting?
The.
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 Thank you.
Such a good amendment.
Well, I was trained by the real professional. This was Matilda Hanson from your community.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Nice. Wonderful.
Okay. Anything further in the bill?
No.
Call the roll, please. And we've got one more question for you, Russian.
On House Bill 57 engrossed, Senator Beitman,
Aye.
Senator Ellis,
Aye.
Senator Rothfuss,
Aye.
Senator Salazar,
Aye.
and Chairman Scott.
Aye. Representative Brown, you have Senators Guru, Cost, and Nethercott as co-sponsors. Who am I supposed to yield to carry the
Mr.
bill?
Chairman, I will speak with Senator Nethercott. She knew that this was coming.
Okay.
Boyd, good to see you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, committee. That's all. And again, we apologize for being late, but the president told us to come talk to his press group at 7:30. We did. Okay. And whatever you can do, send us a recalibration bill. And we'll we promise you, we'll work on it thoroughly, and that will be the vehicle if you do.
I hope we can. I hope we can do something with it. You know what we've got going on right now is you've got the absolute no tax, and you've got the absolute no cuts. And then you've got the group of let's try to get something done in the middle, and it's just not enough to get it past the finish line.
So that's the problem.